I think the biggest change that happens in these cycles is that everybody assumes that the tooling that's already in place and the security program that's already in place protects them. And so they can just adopt these new things as if they were regular software. So cloud was a big example of that, where first people started using cloud as an island where they were doing development. And even though the rules of security still applied, and even though they were breaking them flagrantly, the stakes were low. As the stakes advanced, the risk changed and people sort of bristled against security pushing back on them and saying, whoa, we still have rules. They still apply. You need to figure out how to do them in the cloud if you want to run production workloads there. AI is the same way. We've got all of this great tooling that helps protect zero trust, cloud, mobile. And if it's in place, you've got a lot of protection there. But AI is a whole different thing. You're giving access to your tools through your laptop to a cloud provider that has its own set of security policies. And so it's a completely different dynamic that existing tooling doesn't really have solutions for. James' book gives a lot of really good things that you can do within existing tools. And he also talks about a lot of things that you can do with tools that are emerging on the market, but that work has to get done. And until it gets done, you're at risk. Cloud was different because it was dev first. AI is prod first. People are jamming in company documents, strategy, code, customer code into a chatbot or into an agent, and it's the Wild West.
Yeah. And the other thing, there's a major transnational bank that had a very, very successful proof of concept with a complete rewrite of everything for AI. And they did the proof of value. They said it was going to be beautiful. But then when they went to introduce it into the real accounts, everybody was like, whoa, 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 wait, how is this secure? What happens? I mean, again, do you know what the agents are accessing? Why do they have to access it? What's the potential for them to exfiltrate? What happens when it goes wrong? That's the big question that never gets asked as people are just pushing out vibe coded stuff. What happens if it goes wrong? How do you secure it? What happens if you get too many requests in too short? Because here's the thing. There's a company, can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but they had an AI agent that was approving invoices. It was expected to do 100 invoices a day. It ended up doing like 300 invoices a day. And then they didn't realize it was doing an additional 200 fraudulent invoices a day for a week. And then they couldn't figure out how to stop it. So it went another 2 days before they were able to cancel it. So $3.4 million later out the door into fraudulent invoices, they were able to stop it, but it cost them $3.4 million. Plus it cost them time, energy, efficiency, because they didn't have a kill switch put in place. So you need to know what you have access to. You need to have specific identities for those agents. You can't just run them under administrator access, because we all know how bad that is. And you have to make sure that they can only access what they're accessing to. And then if there's something going wrong, you're getting alerts